Good morning, Andy. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for inviting me on. It's a real pleasure to be with you.
Perfect. Now, Andy, you've got a really interesting and fascinating history. Can you tell me a little bit about your adoption journey and how you found adopting the two wonderful children that you have?
Yeah, so it's been a bit of a mad 6 years, I would say. So we have two children. We adopted them both separately. They aren't birth siblings. They are from two separate birth families. And we adopted our daughter in 2018. So we started the actual adoption process in 2017. So going through all of the training and all of the checks and all of those kind of things. And then we went through the process again in 2020, right in the middle of a pandemic, um, which obviously, through the nature of the pandemic, everything was very, very different. And then our son came home in 2021.
Wow. And how is
And
it?
then,
Sorry, carry
sorry.
on. Sorry, carry on.
So then since then, it's just been navigating through, life as a four.
Yeah.
It's totally changed our lives for the better. Obviously, with any kind of new family, there's challenges, and you work through that. And then to throw in the fact that there's adoption and SEN, and we're a two dad family, that's a whole cocktail of things to work through and navigate.
Wow. So it must have been very challenging at that time, especially during the pandemic, with things running a bit slowly. Now, you said that it's changed your life. Now, in particular, for example, with your daughter who has some additional challenges, how have you found that process?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there has been some really tricky moments. Not in relation to obviously how we feel about our daughter or anything like that. The challenges have been through accessing the support that she needs,
Yes.
um, and making sure that she's getting the best possible interventions and multi-agency approach to make sure she reaches her full potential. And I think it wouldn't be a shock to anybody to know that all services in the UK at the moment um, are, at breaking point. So you have to really fight to get anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest with you, we have felt very let down by post-adoption support. Um, it's been quite tricky. I think when we went through the process, we were kind of given the narrative that if you need anything, we'll be there. You'll put your application in for support and you'll get it. When in reality, it doesn't actually work like that. And we've noticed a huge difference when we've then gone into request post-adoption support post-pandemic,
Right.
where services are just on their knees. And I try and give a real balance on our social media to show, it's such a wonderful thing, adoption. Of course it is. You adopt these wonderful children, but also it comes with challenges. And I try and show the good and the difficult on our platforms. And I put a post on quite recently about a tricky situation we'd had, and I've been inundated, and I'm talking hundreds of messages from other families have who have or are experiencing
Mhm.
some challenges with post-adoption support, but are finding that ray of light, if you like, through other means. So reaching out to other adopters and sharing best practice and how did you get that support and all those kind of things to to get the best for the child and the family, really.
Yeah, and you mentioned Instagram and social media. I think it's such a great way to build a community because if you're isolated from other people that are not going through the same things that you are, you can have that connection, you can have that shared experience, and you can get things moving and have that emotional support. So I think that's wonderful. I've had a look at some of your posts. I had a look at the last post, which is quite funny, about not licking the radiator.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a popular one. That's a
yeah,
very popular one.
yeah.
But I have to say, they're all true stories.
Wow, wow. But I
Yeah.
think that's great because you can share the human side as well. So you're going through the difficulties, but if you can look at everything in totality and you can share your experiences, make that connection with other
Mm,
people, because other people may be apprehensive about adoption. Um, Everyone has a unique set of circumstances. So I think having that exposure, I think it's a really good thing. And I don't think it's easy. I think if you think about creating content, you have to actually go through the process of creating it, posting it, engaging with people.
yeah.
How have you found that process?
Really interesting. It never meant to be what it's been, what it's turned into.
Yeah,
So, when I started the page, I was still in a full-time job in a school. So I used to
okay.
work in a school. And it was kind of towards the end of the pandemic, and we were going through the process to adopt our son, and we're also trying to get support for our daughter, and her needs were really developing at that point. I don't think the pandemic kind of helped that situation.
Yeah,
Um, and I just kind of stumbled across some other pages of like parenting pages, and I'd seen a couple of same-sex parent pages, and I just thought, oh, do you know what? Um, I'm gonna create one. I'd kind of been I'd done a few bits and pieces about adoption advocacy. So I'd worked on some projects, I'd helped on some training, and a couple of people had said, "Oh, you should start a page." Instagram is kind of, I think it's always been big, but it's kind of gone next level now, hasn't it?
yes,
Where
yeah,
everyone's got Instagram. So I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. And then I left my job when we adopted our son, and I kind of I still really wanted something else, and I thought I'll just kind of start posting, and it's just kind of snowballed into something else. I think there was a real need for um, people to connect with other adopters, and I think as well, I think other dads.
yes,
Because I think there's a lot of mum pages, but not as many, or there's more now, there's more dad pages, but at the time there wasn't as
mm,
many dad pages. Um, and I can just remember feeling when I was on adoption leave with our daughter, and her needs were kind of developing, weren't able to get to play dates, weren't able to get to baby groups. She was really, really struggling. And it became really, really isolating. And at times I felt I didn't really have people to speak to. No one really got what I was going through in kind of a unique circumstance of being a dad, being an adopter, being an early sen parent. No one kind of really understood where I was coming from. And I'm just really passionate about other people not feeling like that. So
yes,
if I can give 5 minutes of my time to somebody, then of course I absolutely will, or an hour out of my day to make sure that someone's okay. And I do, I've had people. The page has been going on for 4 years now, nearly 5 years, and there's people that have been there right from the start who've
wow,
seen my children kind of grow through the
yeah,
process. So
yeah.
it's yeah, there is a really nice community feel to it, I think.
Wow, that's wonderful. And also it gives you a chance to talk about, for example, things like having a therapeutic approach, which I think
Yeah.
is really interesting
Which
because
is very hard, especially when it's in the summer holidays.
definitely, for example, at Avanti Fostering, we promote the idea of therapy, which
Yeah.
includes things like playfulness, acceptance, curiosity, empathy, and we get the chance to educate our foster parents on this type of therapy. And it's interesting because on using social media, you can talk about these type of things that people may have heard about the term therapeutic therapy, but they don't know exactly what it is.
What it means.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
it's like,
I feel, I really, I think we need, I'm really mindful of being really real on social media because I think you can see so many accounts, particularly in the school holidays.
mm,
Um, if you see people, if all you're seeing is people out doing amazing things,
yeah,
yeah, and you're not seeing the tantrum. I mean, obviously, I would never show my child having a tantrum or a
yeah,
meltdown on social media, but I
yeah,
think you need to be really mindful about what you're posting. And if you're seeing something that's making you feel a bit rubbish, going, well, they're always just showing the good and the good stuff, and they're always out doing this, and they're never having, to deal with tantrums, then mute those accounts because I know what it's like. It can make you feel a bit rubbish, can't
exactly.
it?
You have to show the reality of this. But I think,
Yeah, and I tend to do that more on my stories. So I'll be like, I don't know, been to the shops today, and the children just, ran riot, or those kind of things, and you just kind of have to be a bit real about what life is actually like, don't you?
exactly. And I think that's how, by being genuine, um, and you can show that different side, the reality of what it's actually like. But the main point is that it's worthwhile. It's
Yeah,
worthwhile going through this, and you can share that journey with other people, even though you have your ups and your downs, which is only natural. And
yeah. I think
and
for any parent, no matter
yeah,
how you become a parent, you're going to have good days and bad days, aren't you?
yeah, definitely. But I think in like society today, we have an idea of what is normal. And
Mm,
but by everyone showing what their life is like and their everyday struggles, we can understand that there is no idea of normal. It's like it's at the end of the day, it's caring for each other. It's making sure that our children feel safe and loved and able to fulfill their potential and giving them lots of support. Um,
100%,
yeah, so I think that's
100%.
that's really wonderful.
I think I always try to say to people as well when I'm talking to other parents or someone who's struggling, try and find something funny out of it.
Yeah,
And I think you've probably seen that on some of my recent posts, probably in the last year. I've tried to be a bit more light-hearted because sometimes it can just get a bit, monotonous, or you're just feeling like you're in that, Groundhog Day. And I
yes,
think sometimes if you try and find something funny out of, like you said, stop licking the radiators, or, all those kind of things.
yeah,
Try and find something funny out of it because, life's too short. You've got
yeah,
to find something funny.
definitely.
And I hope that some of my reels, I
Yeah.
mean, they make me laugh if they don't make anyone else laugh.
Definitely. And I think it's just that energy that you transmit as well. And it transmits to everyone around you. So if you can have that, if you're feeling stress and you're able to let that out in that productive way, I think it's a healthy thing.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I
Perfect.
agree.
Perfect. Now we have a Modern Family show, which is
Yeah,
upcoming, which is on the 28th of
yeah.
September. Will you be
Nearly
there?
2 weeks away. Yeah.
Yeah, will you be there?
Yes, I will. So this is my third year at the Modern Family Show. I'm very excited. I love the day. I always come away. It's a long day, but I always come away with a really big smile on my face because it's a really safe space for people. And you meet all kinds of people. Like I'm there literally from the start to the finish, just talking to people. I have lots of people coming asking questions about um, adoption and, um, just us as a family and how we've navigated certain things. And yeah, I just always come away with such a big smile because I think I really wish that there was something like the Modern Family Show when we were going through the process. Because it's a really great place to network and meet other people that are at a similar stage to you. Obviously, there's some people there that are there for adoption, some people that are there for surrogacy. So it's a really vast mix of people. And all the professionals and all the advocates, and the team that work there are all so lovely and so welcoming, and it's just a lovely bubble to be in for that
Yeah,
day.
definitely. And
This year there's something extra special. So there's an influencer called Shar Bailey, and she is doing I think it's called a pause and process area. So it's a safe space, because you may be at the event, you may be something may jog a memory or something that you've been through in your childhood, or on your journey to parenthood, it can be quite an overwhelming experience, and you can it can bring up a lot of emotions. So it's a space for you to kind of let all that emotion out and just it's an area that's going to promote well-being and mindfulness. So I'm really, really excited um, for that area this year. That's a great new addition to the show.
that sounds really interesting. And also to let everyone know that Avanti Fostering will also be there as well. And it'll be nice to see you there.
Yeah,
So, yeah, so if we think about this day is just like a very special day in that it gives people access to so much information all in one go about the
mm,
different avenues that they can take to start a family. Um, and the idea for us being there is that it promotes the idea of fostering as well. It gives more exposure
yeah,
because there's thousands of children that need a loving home each year, and the number is just increasing all the time.
yeah,
And a lot of people a bit apprehensive or don't know about the process. So, like you, we promote ourselves on social media, on Instagram as well, and try to show people um, how they can go about becoming a foster parent, people that have been a foster parent before and or even a foster child, and how it's impacted their life. So I think using things like social media, having events like this, it really helps in a focused way because life can get really busy. You can,
yeah,
and it just gets in the way, and you carry on with your day-to-day life and you're not aware of things that are happening unless it's mainstream media.
yeah,
So
100%.
yeah, so the onus is on us to create that buzz, create that atmosphere, and give people this information because once they have this information, it opens up so many doors that they didn't
Yeah,
know existed
yeah,
before.
yeah. Yeah, I totally agree, and I think it's really great that fostering is included in this because family these days looks so different, doesn't it?
Yes.
So I love the fact that fostering is included in this, and actually my husband and I have actually said once our children grow up and I mean move on, I don't know, they might be with us for quite some time, but fostering is definitely something that we would be considering. I personally like the idea of fostering babies and particularly babies that are going to adoption. Their family plan is for adoption, and seeing those move on to those new forever homes is something I'd really quite like to do,
Yeah.
but
I
not just yet.
yeah, I think that, there's that cliche that it takes a village to raise a child. And I think it's
Mm,
so true because every
yeah,
interaction you have, if it's not with your immediate family, could be uncles, relatives, friends, teachers. It's a wider network, what you
yeah,
consume on social media. So this all has an impact.
yeah.
So I think I think all of these different ways, I think is brilliant.
Yeah, I think as well, when you hit the nail on the head. I think as well, when you become a parent, your however you've become a parent, your network will change because you will meet people that you wouldn't have necessarily met before. Um, so your support network grows again. I mean, you might lose some people along the way, but you'll gain some other amazing people. And I've actually met through social media. I have met some amazing people who are now friends in the real world, and really, really good friends. And actually, my one of my best friends, I met on our initial training day to adopt our daughter, and we just hit it off like that. And we went through the process together. And she's now one of my close friends, and actually, she's going to be godparent to our children.
Wow.
So yeah, it's I believe everything happens for a reason, definitely.
You see the option to click on the tickets. So it's on Saturday, the 28th of September from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you can purchase your ticket here. And also, I highly recommend visiting your Instagram page here. And if you like, you can have a look at our Instagram page as well.
Just to let people know, if you click in my link tree, there is actually a discount link for tickets to the Modern Family Show. I think you get 20% off. So that obviously runs up right, it's right at the top there.
Mhm.
Tickets are reduced quite a bit. So if someone who's watching this does want to come along, whether you're going through the process or you just want to educate yourself about LGBT parenting or anything like that, then you can use that discount and come along and come and say hello. It's always nice to meet people that
Brilliant.
um that watch you on social media.
Yeah, it can be a little bit surreal, I think, if if you see someone on the screen, then you see them in real life.
In real life,
Yeah.
yeah.
But we're all real. We're all in the same boat. We're trying to get through this together and support each other. So I think it's wonderful.
Right.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you. Sandy, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for your time. I really appreciate it.
No, as I say, thank you for having me on, and hopefully I can come back again sometime.
Brilliant. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
And you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.